Okay. Whoa. Get that off the mic there. That didn't help. So, looks like we did it again. So I used an entirely different setup here this time. So we're not going through any of the pre-Google stuff. We'll see what happens with this. So again, we'll let a few people jump on. Let's see who's here. Matthew, hello. Josh, or James, hello. Ever, exactly, ever. Grainy, no data. What does that mean? Let's see what we're doing with the Wi-Fi connection here. Now it says excellent connection. Did it clear up? Yeah, I see it sketching. We'll see what happens. It should come back. Yeah, let me know. So yeah, we've replaced all the gear. Everything is different. I'm just watching the stats right now. So good. King David back. Excellent. All right, 6 people. Let's see who else shows up here real quick. So what do you guys think of this music, huh? Is this awesome or what? This is the kid here, William Lowry. He's the boy that I'm the parental figure of. Amazing. Just a prodigy. The guy's just really amazing. Thanks, Matthew. Yeah, we've been working hard to try to upgrade all this stuff. So, like I said, we'll give it about a couple more minutes, maybe 2 more minutes, and then we'll jump back into this stuff. Okay, well, everything looks good connection wise now, so sweet. Now, like, there'll be cats going through this. This is not a controlled environment. Like I said, I'm not a YouTuber anyway, so not necessarily. I just need to find a platform to be able to show people what we've experienced, what's gone on. Cat, you can't get in front of the camera. What are you doing? No, Mama, get out of here. So don't tell him. My cat will probably type something here in a minute. So like I said, this is always adventure. This is some pretty raw stuff around here. Okay, cool. No, you can't sit there either. Come on, Mom. Get out of here. Yeah, I know. Blow. Thank you. Yeah, they always want to be part of everything, don't they? Isn't that cool? So anyway, yeah. Here we go. So we're getting no, you can't get up there. Get out of here. You're going to knock my light down. This is great. Come on. So anyway, so we've had a lot of interference this whole time. Not just from cats either. I mean, like I said, in the last stream we tried. No, get out of here. You can't sit there. Thank you. So in the last stream we tried, we had to deal with a voice coming in before we even started talking, saying they accidentally hit the wrong button and this and that, and an expletive, and who could do that? Who can jump in someone's video stream and by accident hit the wrong button and end up talking on their stream. I mean, that's pretty crazy. All right, got 10 viewers and a cat, so probably get ready here. If my light goes out, that's not the light going out, that's a cat. Get out of here. You're crazy. So anyway, so we've had a lot of interference. We were having subscribers removed consistently. We gain 5, we lose 3 to 4. Hey Todd, how you doing? Yeah, this is working. You can see, man, we replaced pretty much everything here. So, and we've already had 2 major crashes this evening that you probably missed, hopefully. And so anyway, I guess there's enough people here. We'll just start getting into it. So, like I say, needless to say, we're having massive amounts of interference. Anything you guys can do to like get people to know what's going on here would be great. And share the channel, do whatever you can. And more importantly, make sure that if you're subscribed, you're still subscribed, and then the notifications are on, so that you'll know, because they're knocking us off left and right. We just taking us out. They don't hit us on search results. Usually we get all our hits in one day, and whatever you get in one day, and then it just stops. That's it. And I don't really care about that, but it's representative of if we're getting the word out or not, because we want to, and we're about to dump a massive amount of truth upon the people. And this is raw from the field. What we're going to see tonight is a kick-ass retro video we did at an amazing area. It's real rare, but what we're going to be showing in the future is up to date and mind-blowing, and we just need to get this platform rolling so we can get as many people to see this information as possible as we roll it out. So real quick, and what led to this eagle picture here, I know a few people have already seen it. Here we go, cat again. So this picture was photographed on a mesa, and we had been hiked in 12 miles to get where we were, and the mesa we were on had a 400-foot elevation drop. And Mama, you gotta go. Oh no, there goes my light. Thanks, cat. So I had a 400-foot elevation drop, and at the edge of this mesa, and we're behind this, it was a protrusion about 40-50 foot tall. And I had sat down to give thanks to this area. It just was really special. So I did that. I sat down, and we smoked, and I gave a tobacco offering on the rock. And right after that, I rolled over to get up, and right where I put my hand, there was a Native American bead, and a real small hand-carved bead, just beautiful. And so that was just a sign, you know. And I looked up from there. There was a triangular shaped white rock, and it had a vertical line cut in the rock. And I followed that line up in my vision, and up that protrusion, or that knob, you know, it went. So it was like an indicator, hey, go look up there. You know, I had this feeling. And so I did, and it was like kind of no big deal, really. It just looked like there was a small ledge up there, but that was about it, and didn't look like anything specific. But when I climbed up that ledge and just kind of followed that indicator, this is what it led me to. And this is on the way to a really ancient, very special treasure site. It fits an unknown history of North America that needs to be told. It's vast, it's megalithic, and there's a lot of value and records and things that need to be exposed. So let's go ahead, and without any further ado here, we'll go ahead and turn this thing on, and let's see if this crashes our computers or not again. So we'll just find out here. I'm not going to be watching part of the live chat here for a little while, because I'm going to keep this window down so they don't potentially have a crash again, and we'll just we'll go from there. So let's give her a shot. Okay, well, we're going to see if it'll roll or not. Okay, looking good so far. Also, This was filmed with a an old VHS. So. Here. I'm standing on. I'm gonna go over here in a minute and see if I can't get him. We came, and this is the short leg, but we came back up and down through those canyons there. So far about 8 miles, maybe 10 miles into the hike. A little more. Well, actually it's pretty far, probably about 12. But I'm going to try to climb up over here and get to this eagle. Now it's going to take me out. This thing's likely to get pretty defensive, so we'll see. This is how you get there. I was crawling through here a minute ago and came around the corner and there was an eagle feeding their babies. See if I can crawl around there and get a video and maybe a picture of her feeding when she's still there. Okay. Looks like it's playing. Looks like it's playing back a little sketchy for some reason. So. Now, if you've never seen how big a golden eagle is, this bird's talons were the size of my hand. So. So hopefully you guys can hear me over the background noise here. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the background noise here. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the background noise here. Okay, well I just checked that works. So yeah, I'm about 12 to 15 feet away from this golden eagle, and then it's a 400-foot drop off. What I did is I just checked the chat on my phone, and I will narrate along as we go. I just don't want to talk over any of the parts here. But this is about a 400-foot drop off this ledge, and I'm out on this little protrusion of rock, sticking my arm out, and there's about a 40 to 60 mile an hour wind coming up this face. So I could turn that wind sound down a little bit. And yeah, so that 40, 50 mile an hour wind's coming up this face and trying to kind of blow me off of there. Plus this bird's so big and I'm so exposed that if she or he wanted to do something to me to keep me away from that young, she certainly could. But as I'm sitting there, that's a rabbit, and she feeds the gosling an entire rabbit in one feeding. So, and I don't know, this is just a pretty special thing. I thought for one, it's just on the video, and as you know, we're watching all this raw right from the file. I'm not editing anything, and this was on it, so it's pretty special. I felt really privileged. There's not a lot of people that's probably got to lay on a ledge with an eagle 400 feet off the ground and film it feeding its baby, so or at least not a golden eagle. And now you'll start to get some shots of the young here. I noticed if I have any window open over the player window, that it runs glitchy, so I just caught that. It should run a little smoother now. Like I said, I can't see the live stream. Hopefully it's even still running. But we're just going to go for it. Maybe I'll pause it in a minute and I'll check it out. Okay, I got to get out of here. I got so much rocks in my eyes I can't move. This wind's almost taking me off the edge of this cliff. I'm only about 15 feet from the bird, and she's big and she wants to come mess with me. I haven't got anywhere to go.
Okay, I got a new vantage point. I'm trying to get a different angle on this eagle. I can stand on that little ledge right there without getting taken off.
It might be Josh. I'd have to take a look.
Real good view on her. I'll give her a shot.
Here, I've got my phone on the chat now, so I can see the chat. So
Stand on this ledge.
yeah, this is
Up
nuts.
on this pedestal so I can get a different view on this eagle. If I can get up there without getting blown off, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, that gosling was, like I said, big enough to eat a rabbit in one sitting.
She's off. There she goes. Uh-oh, she may be coming after me, so...
Yeah, King David. Yeah, that's pretty rare. Yeah, and right there I almost went. I had to drop the camera in the rock and hold on because she left the nest and went right over my head. That was a little scary because, yeah, I'm pretty high.
That was bad. Well, I missed her. I was going to get her try to fly out of there, but... Great, she's right there.
So this was a real early VHS hand camcorder, so
She's right
Yeah, and Mama didn't seem to mind me. She saw me. So.
Better shot. A beautiful animal. Guess there's just one. Boy, have they got a view. Let me tell you.
That video looks a little choppy from what I can see in my feed. But we shouldn't be. They say we're on the fastest connection type in the U.S., so. And actually,
We're about 12 to 14 feet. It's just beautiful.
The internet company told me they would help me track it and find out if it's YouTube or where this is coming from. So.
Image stabilizer on with this wind. If I turn it off, what? I can hold the camera. Just a beautiful bird, though.
Yeah, how cool is that? And it's a real privilege. I mean, this kind of stuff happens. It's definitely a privilege. And we're in. I mean, we're 12 miles from the nearest place that you can get out of a pickup.
She's got to go catch her another rabbit before she can feed. Really get a good look at this baby.
And I'm noticing the live stream on my phone anyway. Looks like it's sketching, and I don't know what that is. That shouldn't be happening. So I'd like to apologize if it was on my end, but well, we've covered just about everything.
The knoll I was sitting on. Too bad. And right up there is where I had to go. Was right up that knob. The backside of the leaf was. Well, this is a monument we just happened to walk across. I pulled the camera. You can see the head of a horse, the front leg bent back, the triangle shape down in the middle.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that right there for a second. And I want to show you guys something. Hopefully this doesn't lock everything up. Okay. So you can see my mouse here. Hopefully. See if it comes through or not. Should. So this section here, what would be, it looks like a horse's nose sticking out and then his leg bit back. Well, this is also a head of a man. You can see a nose, a mouth. Okay, and this is another head, but this isn't a normal man. This is the eye, and this is the mouth, and this is the elongated skull type head. So this is what we would call probably a reptilian, something like that. So we find throughout all of our studies of monuments and these enigmatic ancient megalithic sites, the reference usually three different types, and that'd be human, something like a Bigfoot, and these alien looking heads. And then as well, we also find, skulls. So, but the skulls run right up into the Spanish and influence stuff. But this is not. This predates all of that. This is ancient. Now, what we see here though is a turtle, and this is a soft shell turtle. This is the shell, and this is his neck drawn in. So it actually tells us that there's an air shaft in and around this area, and it would probably be back behind this horse. So, and these are reminiscent of, they use horses a lot, and they use a winged horse. And so at a distance, and when we go back away from it, you can see it looks like a horse with its mane flowing back here, and its nose out front to the left, and then it has 3 rocks on its back. So these are major distance monuments. But I'll go ahead and start this, and we'll watch this play through again here. We get it.
Well, this is a monument we just happened to walk across. I pulled the camera. You can see the head of a horse, the front leg bent back, the triangle shape down in the middle. It almost appears as if the horse with its mane flowing up in the wind and back. I'm sure you can see. Well, this is a Spanish camp area. This is the main.
Now, you notice I mentioned Spanish camp area in this, and that's because the last ones that occupied this would have been Spanish followers, basically, with the Jesuit priests. And so the construction here is amazing. For one, how they do some of it, nobody knows, but there's a bunch of these sites around, and we've already, of course, been in on some of the contents of these chambers and things. So there's a lot of background before we located this site. But the original portion of it would go at least to probably the early Aztec, maybe even before they moved south on their migration. So
camp continues right through here, wheezes around, goes back up inside. There's a large flat spot. It's all been manipulated from the rocks out here all the way in. It's a man-made flat. It's all guarded by large rock. You'll see up in here there's a cave up underneath this rock, and to mark the cave is a heart, a black heart. You'll see the heart's very noticeable. And we'll continue on. I'll go ahead and film from about that point. Now we're at the point I mentioned a minute ago, or previously. You can look up into the situation. Black heart's still completely visible, even though the perspective's changed. You see, this rock that the black heart's on is leaning on this one. And if you get up there, this one is triggered into a rock that's plugging a hole inside. That way that whole set can come down. I'll just leave the camera running as I progress into the camp here, if I can. Let everybody see what it's like to enter.
So you'll notice, let's see, and I'll mention it, that around the perimeter out here, around this site, the whole thing's lined with really big rock. Probably about, maybe 50 tons a piece, 100,000 pounds a piece. The whole camp, and then on the inside, it's completely bladed flat of decomposed material, like a paving. But not hard, it's more like a gravel paving. And then there's different rocks in places for reclining, for setting up shelter and whatnot. But it's basically a temporary, huge flat pad. You could put, probably 400 or 500 people on the pad pretty easy. So.
If you get in here, you'll notice, especially up in the cave area, there's the rock in the back, and it's just plugging a hole. All death trapped together. No way to get it. Yet. Now here's the boundary rocks to the camp. And the trail runs around these to the left. I mean to the right, I'm sorry. And you'll note that these large rocks continue on. And they also border the outer wall of the camp. Inside of this camp, you'll notice a lot of infiltration plants, like the staghorn cactus, cat claw. There's a food tree that grows here, and I'm not even sure exactly what it is. What I'm going to do now is turn around and show the trail that leads along the large boundary rocks. You'll notice that these are all pretty much sectioned off here, and what they've done is left us a gap in between these large rocks, and that gap runs us onto another trail that takes us straight back up into the cave. The cave itself that the trail leads to, I would say, just based on my own private opinion, that it probably holds religious artifacts, something for the altar, since actually this is not just a camp, this is a mining operation. Now you see the leaning rock I spoke about a minute ago rests against that rock, which doesn't hold much weight. What it's actually riding on is that rock inside the hole. And when a person climbs up in there, they realize that the hole's actually been plugged by large pieces of rock. And then these rocks have all been balanced, piggyback upon one another, resting on that rock. So that removing the doorstone would automatically mean releasing that entire side of the cliffside. This is the camp area. Of course, it's completely overgrown, but from in here, anywhere beneath this side of the cliff, all the way to the outside, it's sculpted and flat from here all the way in. And a lot of talus material that's been extracted from the mines. What we'll try to do in a few minutes is show you the talus from the mines and the entrance monuments that shows the entrance to each one of these mine shafts. As I zoom in over here, you begin to see the large rocks in the background. These rocks are the bordering stones that border the outsides. About all you can see of them is their tops. Some of them range between 8 to 10 feet tall, and they border the entire outside perimeter of the camp, and acting as a defense wall and a boundary that maintains the earth and this terrace. This is another perspective. This is a perspective on the cave and the heart from the campside. You'll notice that on this side, there's no way to tell that the heart is a heart. The shape is changed because our perspective has changed. It still makes a shape, and it looks like a Liberty Bell from this point of view. And along with this Liberty Bell is the cave, and we can see it. To the right of the cave, on the same rock shelf, we see a stone cut in the shape of a V, or a pointer to the right. This monument can mean several things, but as noted below this, there's another rock that is fit onto a stone pedestal, meaning this also eludes me at the time. It may have to do with, may be telling.
And actually, this rock is a head, and so this is a type of headdress like a turban, and then you have a bridge of a nose, and hopefully you can see my cursor. It shows it on my streaming screen. So, but here's the bridge of the nose, and then you have an eye that's the darkest spot, and then the cheek and chin, and it's looking, basically you always follow down the bridge of the nose, so it's progressing to the right. Now eventually you'll see a sealed entrance, and you'll see I walk by it real fast as not to alert the other person that's with me, so but I'll point it out for you guys.
Maybe an entrance below these two monuments right here at the back of camp. From here a person can see that the camp itself has been planed flat, and we have a lot of very old infiltrator staghorn cactus. Some of the bases on these cactus run 8 inches to a foot. That puts them very, very old. A lot of the grasses here aren't native grasses even to the state. Where they've come from, they've come here because the earth was manipulated, dug up, and moved, and the infiltrator plants had no natural predation, and they could take over easily in that situation. The trail through camp, there's a small trail left through camp. As you can see, most of camp is very heavily overgrown with all this brush. Now, at the time of the Spanish occupation, all this would have been cleared and appear to be paved with small granulated material bordered by large rocks. And like the rock I'm standing on, some of them are cut somewhat into reclining positions to where they're comfortable to sit on and recline in. As for the rock that I'm standing on myself, as we walk by it, we also can notice that we have a small monument sitting inside of a divot here. Now, people ask, well, how do you know this is a monument? It's not just a rock. Well, what I usually tell them is, how did the rock jump up on top of this rock? There's no uphill slope anywhere to be seen. No way that this rock could just happenstance fall. Plus, you'll notice that on the right-hand side of this rock has a very nice cut pointer. Now, as a hidden pointer, it also has a line. It's thin and a directing line that sets you in that direction along the camp. Where this is telling you to go is the other side of camp to where the actual mine is, to where the actual shafts are located. Now, something we notice and we always look for on monuments is give another perspective. And you'll notice that there's another pointer. Get a good view of it. You'll notice there's another small pointer cut underneath on the back side of this small monument. That's an additional meaning. It could mean a lot of things. It could mean down to the left. It could mean forward, you're going to hit shafts down. It could mean down to a vertical shaft forward on the other side of camp. It could mean it'll have a lot of meanings.
So what that was actually telling us was that there's an entrance to a chamber at the back of the pad. And so actually, I'll walk in front of it. We're behind that section now with a metal detector, and you'll see how many years ago this was once you see me on the tape. This was probably in mid-90s, early, maybe 93, 94, something like that. But anyway, I'll actually go up to a cliffside here, and I'll immediately look up, spot it, and walk away. And when you see me do that, it's kind of an unnatural movement. And but I do that because I just noticed this is a tunnel or an entrance with giant rock stacked in it, sealing it shut. So
Go over and show them rock, so they get a better understanding of how big the rocks are they used to border these mining camps. So clean, it's absolutely sterile here. I don't think anybody can do this much work and not drop something. Staghorn cactus, I've never seen one anywhere else except Arizona at the Spanish mines that were that big, ever. Massive bases. The reason why is these predate all the other infiltrating staghorn cactus. We have staghorn cactus a lot, you know, but that's not a native cactus to these regions. So you just don't find it that large because it hasn't been that long it was brought in. Maybe 100 years. These staghorn have bases up to a foot across. They might have been brought in inadvertently when this mine shut down, somewhere about 300 years ago.
Now I'm actually registering something on the detector right here, but it's not shallow. So this is a real low frequency. It's 6 kilohertz detector instead of 50 to 70, which most of them are. So it'll bounce a signal a long ways, and so we're getting some type of a ferrous metal or iron reading, but it's deep. I mean, it'd be beneath that rock, so pretty crazy.
Target under this rock. You can almost say that you can imagine that these were some of the absolute first staghorn cactus, cat claw, some of the other infiltrator plants. Probably some of the first ones ever anywhere near this area. They're certainly the largest, oldest I've seen anywhere in this county. Just as we would be today, make sure to wipe clean all evidence so nobody else can come along in the future, find sign of occupation. These people were absolutely sterile about their environment. It's not only that when you drop something 300 or 400 years ago, that was the end of it. You may never replace it, period. How far was it to Spain to get new supplies and new things to work with? Tend to be a lot more careful than us, and nothing got thrown away. Everything got used and reused as something else. Of course, they had. You don't have to do me the whole time if you don't want to, whatever.
Let's see. Oh, there's where we're
Halfway
camping
between
last
the
night.
camp and the mine, they're supposed to be in all as a standard. So, in here, somewhere between here and where the actual shafts are, as you'll see in a minute, there is a religious altar. They haven't found the altar yet, of course I haven't really looked. But I think in the cave on the other side is probably the statue of that altar. Getting a lot more reverberations like you're supposed to do too. Not a signal, but get a lot of bounce off. Sounds like we've got some large targets in the area.
Okay, now you can hear me in that where I say it sounds like we got a large target in the area, and what that means is I'm picking up what I call warbles. They're kind of a something like that. That it's from echoing low frequency off all kinds of surfaces down to a major target. And so when you have gold in an area, this machine will pick up a major cache 50, 60 feet into the rock just by echoing through the fractures and around different materials back and forth to the target. So I'm going to back it up just a little bit and let you catch that again. And this, so within so many feet of me is an access way to a massive amount of non-ferrous material. So that's gold or silver. So most likely gold in these cases. So I'll let this roll again, let you check that out. And you can see me looking up and ahead in this shot, and that's why I already know. I mean, I'm looking at this pile that's in front of me and basically against the wall here, thinking that it might be in this part of the wall, and it may be, but here in just a second you're gonna actually see a sealed entrance that I walk right up to. So here we go, we'll check it out.
Getting a lot more reverberation, like you're supposed to feel. A lot of signals, but getting a lot of bounce off. Sounds like we've got some large targets in the area. Getting warbles off of them.
Okay, did you see it? And then you see my reaction, and I quickly dance away from that spot. And I'll just go ahead and show you guys. I've never shown anybody this before, so if you look right up where I'm looking, up here, this is a big hole. And it's filled with, you'll notice the rock here is solid sandstone. And then this is layered sediment material, a harder material, like a chert type of material. And you have a rock, a rock, a rock, a rock, a rock, a rock, a rock. So these are just all massive rocks wedged into a very large hole. And what was I just saying that I was getting as I approached this hole, all the way up this whole thing, I was getting warbles from a massive amount of non-ferrous material that was obviously cached somewhere in this location. So let me roll back through this again and let you watch my reaction after I look up and realize what I'm looking at. And I don't want to say anything about it, so sometimes it's better just to left things unsaid. So
In the area, getting warbles off of them.
notice that it was just, oops, I'm out of here. And I'm just now going through the motions now. And I've never been back to this place. So like I said, it's extremely remote. It's really remote. And you can see all the tears and things in my shirt. Well, none of those were there when we left on this. Same with my pants. I mean, this is rugged stuff. You get cut, bit.
And we're not doing it red, we're just doing a quick scan of this site.
And we're supposed to be out of here actually in I think about 2 hours after this shot. So we're actually supposed to be catching a ride. We got dropped off at the end of a long dirt access and then walked 12 miles. And so we have to hoof that whole thing back. So,
The monument right behind me, you can probably see in this rock.
but we don't make it by the time, obviously.
As you can see, the terrain is very rough and a lot of loose dirt.
Okay, hold on just a second here. So there's another cut to this. I've got to go to go to a file. I'm doing this, like I said, basically one at a time, so we don't have a lockup problem if it was on this end. Of course, like everything we're going through now, I'm going through a completely different way of live streaming, basically. So I was going through a Google system before, and I'm not now. So that may have something to do with this. Of course, I'm not too impressed with what I see for the stream so far. So hopefully what I'm looking at now is going to end up being the second half. Sorry about that. Let's see if we've got the second half on this cut. Okay, it's actually not where it's supposed to be there. So there's this little cat doing its thing. Well, I guess that's going to be it on that video. So I'm not finding, or I should say, I'm not finding the second half of that video file. So I just transposed these things off of VHS through the computer the other day, and it looks like when I processed, it must have stopped it right there. So that's going to be it for that string. Let me check out what's going on here on the live chat. If you guys want to go zip into something else, yeah, you know me, I'll just start tossing files out. Makes no difference to me. So we'll see what we get here. And so it's telling me the stream's finished, but I'm still watching it on my phone. So that's a little odd. So I don't think the stream is finished. So hopefully this doesn't shut it down. Let's check out what we've got going on here. So yeah, you guys, we can go through and pull something else cool. Whatever you guys really want to do, you know. I get some feedback on the chat here. If you guys want to look at some other files, I did receive something really cool. Okay, where are we at here? It looks like we're still on. So I did receive something really, really cool, and that was the audio file that a guy sent me, and I'm sure I can pull it up here. It might take a second, but it's he had one of our recorders. And that's another thing. I've never ever mentioned any of our products that we sell, and we build our own parabolic audio equipment that far surpasses basically everything else that's out there. Plus, it's mobile and basically indestructible. The one that was used on Expedition Bigfoot on the second episode, or a second episode, they used one of our pieces on there, and they still use it every once in a while. Had some really good reports of those. So, but anyway, so we also sell small voice recorders, and these recorders are really capable. There's no extra bells and whistles whatsoever, but they're all metal, and their ability to pick up sound, they'll listen to far beyond a human hearing. So just to go on, we had just got some of those to a customer, and he had them out in a remote area. There are dwellings around, but a wooded area, large area, mountainous, and he put one of the recorders out on a static placement, all by itself. And when he did, okay, I'm going to start pulling this up as I talk. And when he did he got a recording that's not a Bigfoot, basically. We don't think so anyway, but it's disturbing to say the least. And it's kind of like, you know, if you're going to do this type of research and bring this stuff in, then it pays to, you know, to be ready for what you might get, you know, needless to say. So this isn't something that you'd normally pick up, and it's concerning. I mean, it really was. It's pretty concerning. And so I told him, he sent me the file, I listened to it, and I told him, you know what, dude, send this file to the cops. So now I'm going to see where it went here. Let's see. Should still be in here. I just received it, so today. Sorry about the delay here. Like I said, you know, we just go on. We start jumping through files or do whatever. Okay, here it is. So let's make sure the audio is going to come through. And if it doesn't, I'll reset. But let's check this out. May have to actually download this file in order to play it. Yeah, that's no problem. Now, I don't know how well you guys could hear that, but yeah, it's disturbing because, I mean, it sounds like a guy and a chick yelling at each other. And then and I want to thank Glenn for allowing me to share this. And but it just goes to show you, I mean, you put a recorder out, you didn't know telling what you're going to get. So we've actually delivered this to the authorities because it sounds like a woman and a guy in an altercation, but she starts screaming no. And the screams turn muffled and doesn't sound good, and quite scary actually. It's frustrating when you know you get the sound equipment in people's hands, hoping for not just them to have the great results, but for me as well to be able to listen to what's out there, you know. And then this is what we get back. So it's pretty crazy. Hi Judy, I just see in your chat up there. Good to see you. I'll rip that through that again. It's pretty quiet. You know, if you guys have headphones, it's real easy to hear. I've got everything ramped up full blown on the streaming software. Maybe I'll try to produce a louder cut later. Actually, I tell you what, this is another way we can do this. This might be kind of cool for everybody to see this. Let's do it this way. So just bear with me just a second here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up this, and then we're going to grab that file here. And we're going to take a look at it. So here's our audio file that you can see with me here. And these are, of course, this over here is the scream section. This section here. And this is why it disturbs me. I can see this in the sound. You can see how this scream is normal for 3, and then all of a sudden it's not normal, and it chokes down to a series. And that's really concerning, because it's like, and you can see it's off the charts up here. I mean, literally off the charts. And this is probably a great distance. So this is our V35 recorder doing this work. And yeah, we'll just play that segment right there. Actually, we'll check this out. I can, and if we want to, I can. Let's see. I would imagine I can. I was say, I'm sure I can up the gain on this stuff, or up the decibel here. I've not really ever done this in this program before, so just trying to see what we've got. Oh, here we go. I bet it's right here. Amplitude, filter, equalization. So we're going to open a graphic equalizer. We're going to look at our frequencies below 2000. So everything under 2000, actually about 3, so we'll ramp. We're going to bump the gain up throughout this whole region, and then I'll play it for you. So it should be considerably louder. So might be too loud, we'll see. Okay, hold on to that. Let's not do that, shall we? That was a little too loud. So we'll take her back up again. Let's do an 11. Let me pull these back down here. Bear with me. It might be better. Yeah, so maybe you guys caught it that time. How crazy is that? Yeah, so that last section, that last section in here really bugs when I listen to it. But I mean, this is the kind of stuff you get. This is what, a Bigfoot researcher gets when they put out a recorder that's capable of picking up sounds at really, really great distance. And so I hate to use this as an example of our recorder's ability, so, but at the same time, this is what happens. So they turned it over to authorities, and I'm not sure at this time, what they've done about it, or what the response was. I want to check back on it, but it is pretty disturbing, and who knows, this file might end up, being used in legal matter or something. So, maybe we'll jump into, I've never really done this before. Well, I've never done a live stream of my files before, so I guess not, right? So I can try something else here. We're going to go ahead and grab, how about some Bigfoot audio? I'm sure I got some around here somewhere. So DR download. We'll go into a file where I know there's something here. Okay, so we can play with some of these. Let's try this one. Oh, this looks like a very filtered one, Bigfoot howl. It's been heavily filtered, so in Adobe Sound Booth we just extract all the other sound except for the vocal signature. So it can sound a little mechanical sometimes, but like I said, we're just seeing what we can get here. So let's just, we'll check it out. Yeah, obviously we're not near loud enough for some reason here. Let me kick up our computer sound. This should have been pre-amplified. I'm not sure why it's coming across quiet. So let me see where we're at. Okay, so I'll go ahead and we'll amplify this for you. Now we kind of know how to do this here. I don't see overall gain. We'll just jump the overall gain up. So what we're seeing here, this region right here is the second individual, probably the same second individual making a whoop, and then he makes another little whoop over here while during the call that's made by the big male. So when the big male comes back in after being gone for a couple of weeks, often sometimes even longer, they'll lip out these real long howls at great distance. I mean, they start doing it miles out, and then they'll have some answering calls coming back from the family unit or the female. And then he'll triangulate their position as he moves and rejoin the group. So check it out one more time. So there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and just save that file the way we just did it. So I might as well work these things. So while you're just sitting here, not that one. We'll pull that one. And then we'll go ahead and we can open a string or a few of these. Since most of this stuff has never been heard or presented, not in a public forum. So you guys will actually get to see this stuff kind of from the first get-go. And we'll see what we've got. Like I said, I'm just dumping sound files. I don't know what's on them. So who knows? So we're loading a file right now. Hopefully it's not horrendously long. So our screen is not cooperating. So our play bar spectrum analyzer here may have to reopen it. Yeah, I'm going to have to reopen it, so give me just a second. Here we go. So we should kick back in now. Of course, we'll have to go right back over and reopen these files. Looks like I should be able to open a batch of these files. I don't see why that wouldn't be a problem. Oh boy, where did we end up here? Okay, let's see. We're going to try to do this the same way one more time. There we go. Oh, cooperate with me. Okay, so waiting on the program here. So what do you guys think of the video we saw on the location? My phone, I'm not seeing any updates on the chat. I don't know what the problem with this stuff is, so let me try to reload. So I'm trying to keep up with the chat while we're doing this. Oh, looks like that program just shut back down. Yeah, we're gonna hear some. I can see the chat now. I've got that window open. So yeah, we're gonna really hear some cool audio here in a second. As soon as I can get this program to hold steady for us. I just may have to open them for one file at a time is all. I'm opening batches of them, and it's acting like it really doesn't like to do that very much. So let's go ahead and go back to our source where we need a file from. And thanks for your patience, you guys. You guys are the best, really. You guys will hang out through anything. Okay, so like I said, we'll just have to pop these one at a time. It should roll pretty easy. Spectral view. This is another one. This is not the same howl. This is another one. We might have to amplify it too. We'll take a listen. Okay, yeah, let me just jump in here and throw some little bit of amplification on this. So all I'm doing is just bumping the gain. It might be a little high. So that's actually, that gain was a little bit high actually. There's another one for us. Now we're going to have, I mean, I've got plenty of audio. This is just one source file, so this one looks to be quite a bit different. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so now you can see these are basically standard Bigfoot howls. Now when you get up, I don't know if I've put this one out there or not. This one may be included in one of the ones we've got out and about right now. But yeah, this is what this one is. So this is got maybe a little bit of noise reduction work. Yeah, this has been published before, but some of you may have never seen it. And the sounds in this are wild. I mean, if you look at some of this stuff, God knows what this stuff is. It sounds like they're doing a frog, I think, when they do these sounds. But they're above and beyond strange. Okay, sorry if you see that be pulled out of the screen there for a second. Let me get back to where we are, and we'll go ahead and play this one. Oh, that's a squeaking door. A horse. See, so people can say whatever they want, but they can certainly
the
mimic.
Bigfoots are howling. It's 8:52 a.m. I'm now plugging in the large parabolic mic. We're going to try it.
And there it goes. This is a 30-inch mic, 22 feet off the ground. And this hasn't been filtered or amplified. That's why what we're looking at here, it doesn't sound as loud. And it's got a lot of the background noise in it. So this was never worked, I guess.
So it's Wednesday, 1/9/2013.
So these three sounds that are going to come up are, I don't know, it's pretty crazy. See, and I might believe those are insects, but if I back up, you're going to see there's nothing else like that. I mean, that's what there is. So insects just don't make a noise, then no noise.
Okay, it's been 30 minutes, or close, 29. I'm going to reset this and start another take. Same thing. It's now 9 minutes after 8. January 09.
Okay, that's that one. Let's go grab us another one. Shall we? So, yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what is who. So, you guys are just doing this with me, who knows? I mean, I can't see what the sound file is. So this is another, looks like filtered and isolated Bigfoot howl. This would have been done in, wait, hold on, let me see if I can. This would have been done in Adobe Sound Booth. So let's go ahead and let this one rip. So you can tell on that, look how that he can carry, I mean, he's carrying a perfect note, you know, I mean, that's pretty incredible. It's just almost mechanical, it's so perfect, but this is definitely, you know, this is a howl, and this is not any known animal. You know, put it in the spectrum analyzer, and it's not hard at all to identify what animal's doing what, because everyone has a different vocal signature, and a lot of it's based on the size and length of the larynx and the size of the lungs and chest cavity and things like that. So you can really, you can tell the difference. So here we go again. Okay, cool. Let's go grab another one. And I mean, I've got a lot altogether. I don't know, dozens of hours. This looks like a pretty good one. So again, isolated in Adobe Sound Booth. Looks like we've got one individual, excuse me, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Because one could be repeating here. So probably at least 5 individuals here going to be singing together. So this should be pretty cool. So let me know if any of these aren't loud enough to. Of course, for some reason, I show my stream, but I don't see a chat. So I'm not sure what happened to the live chat here. Should have been on my phone, but apparently it isn't. So that's odd. It was there a minute ago. Hopefully we still have a live chat going. And so go ahead and do this one once or twice more, and then we'll rip and grab another one. Cool. All right, let's go get some more. So yeah, hopefully everything's working good on everybody's end out there. The live stream is working well. Let's see here. That's the same. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's been quite the adventure trying to get equipment to work, streams to work, streams not to just fail for some odd, crazy reason. We've gone through it all. I mean, what a gamut! Like, we've gone through it all. Constantly being blocked, just unbelievable. I really don't think that the powers that be like information just rolling straight out of files to the people. That's cool. So here we go again. This looks like at least 2 subjects, possibly 3. We see the higher scale. So as this one comes up, another one is already howling here. So what we're seeing is a reaction of one subject to the next here. So when this subject's going in, it gives a little vocal kick, and about the next one, it picks up the second subject's howl and kind of elated, you know, it responds to that. So, and then we've get even before it's over, you get a second little one. That's the same subject. Then that here's the same first subject again, little waver, and I'm sure that this second subject is also chiming in right in here. We'll take a listen and see if we need to amplify it. Good. So it's pretty amazing what they can do with the vocals. I mean, this is, you could call it singing. I mean, it gets beautiful, especially when the family starts getting together. But let's hear it again. Now that's one that I guarantee you no one in the public eye has ever heard, because I've never played it for anyone. I think the only time that's ever been played was during the presentation we did for UNM after our year-long university study on Bigfoot, which was conveniently accused of all kinds of things, swept under the rug, battled against, and everything, to the point no one heard about it, but this was part of it. So yeah, this file was introduced and shown to the faculty and the public there. That was pretty much it as far as its exposure. So here we have what looks like a pretty long sequence. These are all Bigfoot vocals from what I can see. Let's see what we've got. A lot of division, a lot of variance. See, now what I can identify right now, though, here is the vocal section that we just listened to, right here. So there you go. There's the unfiltered, straight from the sound file, and you can see what this came from. So even though that's a great howl, they got real lucky catching a howl. Look at this. So that's just one of how many howls here. I've never counted them. Who knows? So how long is this cut here? Where's our time on our cut? Total time 8 minutes. So that's not a bad run. Yeah, we'll just play this dude and check it out. I'm sure I've heard it because I obviously sampled this section. So we'll give this a run for its money and see what we get. Doesn't sound like it needs to be amplified. Now, mind you, it's not filtered. This appears to be raw, straight out of the recorders. So, welcome for a treat. I don't think much has been shown from this except for the excerpts, except for the parts that I had actually taken out. So, let's get in here and we'll get where we can see what we're doing. We can just go by all this initial distortion, and we'll start right before a howl, and then enjoy it. So that is a dog. That whoa, 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 whoa. That's a dog. So you can see what's going on here. So you have two subjects. You have a primary and a secondary. And if we look closely here, you're actually going to see there's three. So this is your main subject howls. These are response howling. And this subject here is this subject. Right here you see one coming over the top here. That's going to be this one. So this subject here isn't howling during these two. This is your dog. Again, your dog. So, and if we wanted to go into the actual, we don't have the data saturation, I don't think, in this file, but if we wanted to go in and like look at these in more detail to see what the vocal signature is, it's potentially, we could do that. So let's go ahead and we'll just keep on zipping through here. Sorry about that. So that high-pitched squeak that we've got right here, what I highlight here, I don't know what that is. So we do have horses and a horse corral next to us. And I have a feeling that the horses pushed something and it squeaked on its hinges. So I don't think that's a sound being made by Bigfoots or anything like that.
Okay, I'm going to switch the mic setting from bullet to a wider angle. Actually, that's bullet. It was on wide angle. January 10th, 2013, 7:35 p.m. We're completely calm, no wind. At least not where we're standing.
Wind conditions are still 0. Temperature is 35 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm still here, but just barely.
I originally started looking because the horses were freaking out.
Okay, I'm going to go in and let this run for a total of 30 minutes. About 8 minutes so far.
You try to move the mic to a little closer location, insulate it from the house.
Okay, now this looks pretty interesting. So this region here, again, sometimes you'll get the whole series. So you've got one subject coming in doing the howls, and then you'll just get the whole family will start responding at the same time. So we can see some difference in the way these howls come up and dive and come up. So each one of these is like a vocal signature of a subject. You'll see often this subject always rings in the same range here around 750 hertz, and then slowly descends about 30 hertz or something. And then here you've got it's the same subject at 750 hertz and then diving down. So we'll go ahead and take a listen to this. This looks like it's, you can tell it's different distance too. This other subject is quite a ways out there, and of course these here are quite a bit closer, which is why their amplitude is so much greater. If we here look on the amplitude chart at the top, a lot. So you can see how distant one subject is and how close the family unit is to where we are recording from. So And I'm going to add it at the end of some of these vocals. I don't know whether it's in this recording or not, but you can pick up the man in it. You know, you'll have this beautiful harmonic tone, and then you'll have at the end, and you can tell it's a voice. It's not a sound being made by an animal. It's a voice. So that's where you really pick it up, especially if you're using headphones with really high fidelity equipment, and you can catch that at the end of that. I mean, there's no question once you've heard enough of these. But now what's happening here is the male's coming in. That's who's making these long howls here, is the male coming in trying to find the family. And again, if we look at the amplitude chart up here at the top too, we'll notice this little bleep here is the amplitude so much higher. It's because the male's a distance out. We're not that far from the family. We're perhaps, with this equipment, maybe a mile from the family. And the male's probably 2 to 3 miles out, approaching them. And what they're doing is, as he's howling, they keep sending little one hits back or small vocals back, not trying to reveal their position, but sometimes they get out of hand, I guess. But okay, that's gonna be it for that file. Let me address some of the chat here. So Mark Mahan, let's see. Let's see what we've got here. So no, this is not off our property. No, matter of fact, we're recording with a 36-inch or 32-inch dish, 22 feet off the ground, mounted to a mobile laboratory. So we're recording miles away across various properties. The male's coming off a mountain, and the family unit is in a riverbed system, and the male's coming down and to join that family unit. World Bigfoot Radio, like acquire great hairy stinking angels. That's great. Thanks, Bigfoot Martian. Josh, good night. Glad you could show up. Glad you were with us. We're going to keep going. As long as people want to see stuff, I'll show it. Like I said, I'm beat. I've been working my ass off all day, but I don't get much chance to dump files. So, have I ever tried sound blasting these? No. And because I don't sound blast calls, If we want to get into the family units, we make an effort to make that plan and infiltrate the group. Generally, our audio is done at a distance because we're not interfering with them, and we can just vicariously experience what they're doing through audio, including tracking them. So we've tracked their speed and movement, and a lot of different aspects just through the audio itself. So I'm not trying to attract them or try to get a response or really any of that stuff, unless it's one-on-one and you're there within 100 feet of them or something and everybody knows what's up. They know you're there, you know they're there. That's different. But just to go out and randomly call, no, I don't really go for that. I don't think they appreciate it, but and we have better results when we don't apply those techniques. So yeah, the bleeding, it sounds like whales communicating. Yeah, you're right. It does remind you of whales, doesn't it? And I don't know if they have a meaning, I don't know if there's, syllables or anything to these howls. I think that it's more of an emotional, I kind of understand, the emotion behind it and all that. So I think it's basically, in a sense, like singing to each other as you come in. Could be equated to that as much as anything else. So let's see what we've got here on this next file. Try to get it to open here. Okay, that's going to be the same one. So let me jump back out into another file source real quick. Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this stuff so far. I'm glad you guys have stuck around to check some of this out. All right, let's see what this one looks like, shall we? Okay. So we're looking at the sampling on this was up all the way to 30 kilohertz, looks like. So this is a huge range on this recording. So we're all the way down the bottom. We'll see if it's loud enough to play. You can tell that's probably the same individual. It looks like it's hard to see on this graph. He's probably kicking around 800 hertz there on the main howl, but of course, at the back half of this howl, he's diving down again, about the same frequency decrease. So I wouldn't doubt at all that's probably the same subject. So that's the other thing. I mean, each howl, a lot of the howls, especially in the Southwest, we've heard these things on all kinds of recordings, even TV news crews on the Navajo Res, following one they call the Howler, and sounds identical to these, except for there's always a little difference in the vocal signature about the way that they do it. So one will fall off, and then maybe you have a little whoop uprise at the backside or whatever. But so after you look at them enough, you can pretty well identify who's doing the call. So let's rip this out again. Okay, we'll go grab another one. So here's a little more complex. Looks like they gets a little excited at the end. So we'll check it out. Nice, followed with a couple gibbon hoops, even though they're not gibbons, but that's real similar vocal signature to a gibbon there. So yeah, you can, I mean, if people want to say, oh yeah, that's a a wolf or that's whatever. They got to be ridiculous. I mean, it's obviously a primate. You know, what's not supposed to be out there, what's out there, who knows? But, you know. Okay, let's go grab another one. Now, that's got a really strange, really strange signature. Boy, is that ever odd. All right, let's check it out. Oh, that's why it's just a yell. Okay, so it's pretty obvious that this isn't. You can hear the voice in this. I mean, if you really listen carefully, this is a yell. This isn't an animal. You know, this isn't any of the native flora and fauna we're known. This is obviously a voice and obviously a yell. What was that, number 3? This is 4. Okay, this file's... Might have to restart the spectrum analyzer again. This file's being temperamental. So I'm glad the live stream's been running. Who knows why that everything just shut down on us in the beginning so frequently. Yeah, we just lost our spectrum analyzer. Let's bring that bad boy back up here. Oh boy, how about just totally take us out of where we were? What did we say? That was number 4? All right, here we are again. So it's wave and spectral. Okay, so there's another, obviously an isolated vocal. And you can you see in the chart what it's doing. I mean, it's such a saturation of sound. Usually these are very divided lines. And this smooth tone to the voice is pretty incredible. But let's take a listen to this. Pretty crazy. All right, let's grab another one. That was 4, 5. All right, here's the complex vocal session. I don't think we've played this one yet. So it looks like we've got how many subjects here? So we've got our main subject howling coming in. And boy, after he gets a response, he really accelerates his voice, doesn't he? And these same subjects who are climbing here, obviously, go back and define fall here. And we can count 1, 2, 3, say 3 plus the main subject coming in. So let's give these a ring. Wow, that's pretty complex. Wow. Okay, let's go grab another one. This looks pretty long. So what is this? 5.6. So we actually have a howl that's, I think, 16 seconds, which people say, oh, 30 seconds, whatever. Try just 16 is long. I haven't heard one over that. It might be in this list. We'll see. So this one's almost 6 seconds long. So I'll reach over and grab another one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we've got another one where a couple of them join in, and looks like 2 other subjects join and flatline harmonize with the initial subject. Yeah, that's real odd. So this doesn't sound like the standard greeting thing when he's coming in to try to find the group. Actually, this does not really sound like that as much. This sounds more like they're together and doing the same thing. And we can see in the amplitude chart, it does look like they're probably in the same location. So let me check our live chat here and then we'll go on. Okay, so Bigfoot Martian, blow through your thumbs. We get the same pitch, kind of. Okay. It's a clan. Yeah, it's definitely a clan. This family unit's got at least 7 individuals we know for a fact in the main unit. And that's not including their little older males, the transient guys out there, and it's not including the alpha male. So the total number we don't know, but we know that 7 are there with the group all the time. We count them and track them by their feces. So 7 of them will defecate together, and they'll do that repeatedly. So it's pretty easy to keep track. That's also not counting the infants. So they've had, I think, 2 or 3 young. I think 2 young for sure, possibly 3 young, since we've been studying them in 2010, 2011 when we started. Do I think they're pushing them through dimensional veil? No. Nope, they're just on the river, howling just like they do. So it's making noise like any other critter. The way you're hearing it in such clean harmonic and stuff is because they've been heavily filtered. These sounds were captured at great range, well beyond what most people's equipment's able to do, and then they're brought into Adobe Sound Booth, and these are actually filtered. So they have a clean kind of tonal mechanical sound, which is the real sound that we're getting, but it's such a distance away. Wow, letting your cat hear it, Ramil, that's crazy. Yeah. The dogs get reaction. Yeah, most dogs do. I play it and my cats react to it. Not so much anymore, but when I first played a lot of these recordings, they sure did. So let's go jump on another one. I mean, obviously, we're not going to cover all my sound files because we have hundreds, literally. I've said that a lot of times to people. And I don't try not to be braggish, or I don't even really tell that many people, I guess. But when I've said it, I said we've got dozens of hours of Bigfoot vocals, and I'm not sure we get responses, but it's never what I believe is they're ingesting really what's in the archive, I mean, we could just go on and on and on. And then I have hours and hours that's never been sampled from. It's been listened to once or twice, but it's never had anything extracted from it. So a lot of these recordings are 10 or 14 hours or something when they're total. So again, we've got apparently the large male coming in. He's varying a little. And then we've got our vocal response probably from our female. There's 2 subjects responding, obviously, here. We can see 3 subjects here. We got 1, 2, and 3. And then a little hooping in the center is probably this subject. So, but we'll rip this and see what we get. And so, again, you can see where's this frequency of this subject, same subject, 750 hertz, same guy, and he might go up to 800 sometimes or whatever, but generally it's the same thing. And then we've got this long vocal, a little bit of waver to it, and then at the end we get about 50 hertz drop off, same drop off. So I'm sure that's the same subject. We'll grab another one. Again, looks like the same male, and then again at least 2 family members. But it looks like this howl's actually being joined. So it looks like we got one clean howl in the beginning, and then after that we've got one joins it about right here, and then comes in, and you can see where the one that joins it, you can see a line diving here. The one that joins it dives in frequency, and then we get another smaller one that's probably adding in there. And we can also tell, well, there's great amplitude in the distant one, probably because he's facing the microphone and turning in up here in the lower, at the top here where it drops, he's probably turning his head slightly to the side. So this is probably directly at the mic, and then he turns sideways. And then, of course, you'll hear him again. He's facing the family. So when the family starts ripping back right here, he obviously turns to face them, and our amplitude drops. And then he's still turned to face them here, and our amplitude stays at that consistent lower level because he's not facing the mic when he yells. Okay, let's hear this. Grab another one. Okay, here's we've got an overlap of 2 different subjects, and you can see again this second one is probably quite a bit closer, not a lot closer, but closer than the first individual we see over here. So let's let these rip. Looks like we've got another 2 subjects here. Again, we have the distant subject, and then at the termination of that one's howl, we have a much closer subject and a response howl. And you can see actually there's the difference in look to their 2 howls. There is a difference, and both of them are actually howling a little deeper. They're down here around 600 hertz. So this may not be the same male that we usually record. It could be one of the other family members. It's the first time I've seen that. Okay, this one doesn't necessarily want to load, it looks like, so yeah, we'll have to kill this and we'll open it one more time. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's kind of cool just pulling them straight out of the files. You know, you never know what you're going to get. I don't either. Because, I mean, I don't have a clue what file to file. There's just too much in here. So, get this spectrum analyzer back up and running here. Hopefully it'll take us back into our files that we're supposed to be in. Nope. Okay, we got it. Okay. Another howl that's, we're pushing right on 500 hertz. So this should be probably the other subject that we just heard. Doesn't look like this is at real great range, but it doesn't look like it's got a lot of audio resolution either, so we'll see. Yeah, so that's just a single vocal. Sure, yeah, that's definitely not the big male. One of the other subjects. Okay, we could do a few more probably. Let's see here. You know, and a lot of this stuff, you know, just the files are horrendous, so try to think where we've got obviously more, lots more. Let's see here. See what this one is here. So let's take a quick gander through this file. Looks like there's some dogs. What about these? That is a dog. Yep. So you can actually see the difference in a dog howl versus what we've been looking at. Even though the dog's coming in about 700 hertz. You know, you can certainly see the vocal signature. It's plain and simple a dog. So, but this is how we go through the sound files. And once you've seen enough, then you zip through them. Now, there is something a little weird right here. Nope, that's a dog. Yeah, that's going to be that on that file. So like I said, these files I don't have a clue. I've never, you know, gone through and eliminated one to the next or anything like that. It's just, they're just all in here. All right. So this looks pretty crazy. Got a lot of amplitude on that call, so this guy wasn't too far from the mic. I like to try to run into some of the more complex back and forth. There's this 3 minutes, 9 second clip. Again, here's a long series of the male coming in. Not, it might have a dog in here too. No, that's not a dog. Okay, so that's a primate hoop in there as well. So this is probably going to be a pretty good cut, I would imagine.
Sounds like they're howling right from where we're going to go tonight. Haven't heard them in over a week and a half.
Okay, so that's what this was. I remember this. This was actually, we were getting ready to go, and we were going to pre-record from 2 miles away the area where we were going to go in, where we were hoping that the family unit was occupying at the time. And they were, obviously. So we were able to pick them up, and we did go in later and got right in there amongst the group and had some interaction. Of course, those recordings are somewhere. We'll end up playing them eventually, but let's go on.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch it to focus bullet microphone.
Hey Shane, how's it going? Good to see you, brother. Oh yeah, you got to go back and watch. We've done all kinds of stuff. As always, we get way off track. Right back to Bigfoot again, but that's cool. Big-headed Martian. It also sounds like when you're swinging a tube round and around, or a hula hoop cut in half and swinging around. Yeah, it does, because you get that little warble, and a lot of that's because of the amplification. You know, these are such great range again that this stuff, the mic gain is really, really high on this equipment. So it's freaking out your poodle, huh, June? Hey, good to hear from you, June. Yeah, it should freak out your poodle. I would imagine it should freak out anything that's smaller than them. Let's see where we are here now. Let's see. What's that clip there? Okay, we'll try this one. Okay. What do we have in the sound file here? Let's see. Let's see what that is real quick. I would say that's probably a car on a gravel road at a great distance. So we're gonna, oh my gosh, this is a pretty big recording, so I guess that's not too bad. I thought it was bigger. Okay, so it looks like we're nil on that recording. Like I said, a lot of these may not have even gone through yet. Who knows? They've got an awful lot of them. Check out this one. A lot of stuff in this. That looks like a human voice. Potentially, anyway. Let's check it out, see what this is.
Okay, it's now.
And there you go. So you can tell. I mean, it's predictable. Once you look at enough of this stuff, you can just go, oh yeah, that's a person. Oh, that's a bird. Oh, that's an owl, or that's a big cat, or whatever. So I would imagine each one of these are going to be me.
February.
Yeah.
Why is this thing making noise?
So I'm obviously recording this for a reason. Something was making sound here. These are looks like me hitting the dish. Yeah. So that was an aluminum dish we were using. You can tell that's why we don't use aluminum anymore. And we're very, very picky about the materials we construct our parabolic dishes out of now. And one of these days I'll break one out and show it on some videos, maybe market them.
It's recording. Alright. February 2nd.
Okay, so obviously there's something out there here.
It is 10:10. We're about to drop making noise, probably because it got wet.
Let's see. Cool, bear with me here for a second. Okay, that one we're just going to clear it. That's the end of that file. Let's go on to our next here. Okay, this is clipped to 9 minutes. So it's bound to have something good on it. Let's take a quick peek here and see what this is. Oh well, that sounds like a grunt. Yeah. So that's the female grunting back to the male. We'll play that a little longer. So, and you can see where there's more of those. There's quite a few. And let's see what we've got here. Yeah. So we got a high-pitched singing, low grunts. So this is probably going to be a pretty neat recording. Looks like we got some pretty skitsy stuff going on in here. Let's see what this is. Yeah, it's that frog sound they make. Cricket sound they make. So, and I can show you a cricket. So a cricket doesn't look anything like that. A cricket is a very, maybe 50 hertz band that goes across in a bunch of perfectly lined little rhythm, like what we see at the top up here. This is interference, but probably have a power line. But this, a cricket will just be kind of like that, but just one little thin band. It'll never, ever look like this. So let's give this a shot and see what we end up with here. And it looks like these have been sectioned and amplified already, so. That's nice. Yeah, it's straight up primate. This should be a good cut. Good to see you, Nicolette. I just noticed, looking at the chat here. It's good to see you. Yeah, those screams are crazy, huh? Thanks, World Bigfoot Radio. Yeah, and Nicolette, good to see you. I don't know if you guys got that on World Bigfoot Radio. Thanks. Judy, thanks. Yeah, we'll keep going. I want you to notice, I mean, you can hear us whispering. So we're obviously listening to all this grunting and all this noise that's around us. So this is probably one of the nights on the river where we were down there with them. That's why you're seeing the amplitude off every little stick. These are stick breaks you see here, or tapping, but generally that's from actually stick break from stepping on a stick. But I don't see, well, these actually could be footprints that I'm looking at right here from here to here, and then we have a couple of stick breaks, so it's probably a subject walking or moving. And these, of course, are low-end grunts. They're easy to make out. So we're in amongst the group, whispering as quiet as we can, and this is what they're doing all around us as this goes down. You can actually hear a car start coming in from here in this region. I just picked that up. These grunts, man, I mean, you notice that they're not the male. When he grunts and wants to be deep about it, his grunts will go clean off the low end of the chart, just past 0. Bloop. But you'll notice these are up here. These are what it looks like 200, probably maybe 150 to 300, maybe 350 hertz, covering that whole range. So that obviously primate grunts. Here, we'll skip up a little bit. Oh, we got a stick break or something here. Okay, so let me address a couple of the chat deal here. So I'll get off to read the chat. No phone, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Do I believe they were aware of my presence? Yeah. During this recording, yeah. Definitely. They mimic because they can, and it's a way to cover. Well, there's obviously some stick breaks right there. There's something moving in that recording. Yeah, so you hear that breaking? Let me go over that again real quick. Okay, this will give you a pretty good idea of how close we are to them recording. Because this is them walking actually and breaking stuff, so. So yeah, as far as mimicking goes, they do it for various reasons, and for everything from to cover their own presence, like if something hears them moving or walking or whatever, then they can cover their own presence by making the sound of another animal. They can also attract or lure in animals, just like all hunters, not all, but I mean, majority of hunters use game calls. So it's either makes the sound of a wounded rabbit or an animal in the rut or during mating season or whatever to draw in different animals. So you're either being the prey or you're being mating is a reason, or two predators territorial. When you have like elk or in the rut, you make a sound of another male elk, and a male elk will come to kick your ass, and then you shoot it. At least that's how the hunters go. So they mimic for various reasons, but also even like the Native Americans, most of the ones I've known, some of them are just amazing mimickers. I mean, like Junebug Harvey, he can do most of the animals you're aware of, including all the farm animals, but he can do goats and sheep and things to the degree that you can't tell the difference. I'm not sure you could on a spectrum analyzer. It's that good. But Bigfoot's the same thing. They can mimic anything. They can mimic human speech, whether they understand it or not. They can certainly mimic it. We've heard them do all kinds. I've heard single subject do a horse, then do a crow, then and other sounds, and they know you're there, and they'll do this. So we've recorded them doing like a leopard frog at 5 degrees below zero when it's been that cold for a week, and even what would be soft sand, you can't even kick it free. Everything's frozen. It's like a rock, deep frozen, and still, they're doing leopard frog sounds. And a leopard frog would freeze solid in 5 minutes out there. So pretty crazy, what they'll do, and it's pretty amazing. So let's see what this last sound here is. So those sounded distant and were amplified. So anyway, cool. Time we're getting to be 2:17. All right, you guys. I think I'm gonna call it. Yeah, maybe they have 3 vocal boxes, or they, Nicolette, or think about the length and diameter of the larynx, and if you could use and utilize different regions of your larynx along with your vocal cords, you could. That's the same thing as changing the diameter and length of a tube, like a flute or a musical instrument. That's going to change the pitch. So, and all the different vibratory harmonics of that tube as it vibrates. So, who knows how many vocal ranges you could have. I mean, maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe whatever. We've certainly heard and recorded sound as low as you can record it, down to 0 hertz, and I know I've been hit with infrasound as a secondary part of a grunt. So that being said, obviously they can pretty well put their voice anywhere they want to, and when we look, there's other animals that have been able to do things like that, as well as other hominins, like Homo heidelbergensis. They were, from their structures, they believe that they had a vocal ability above and below ours, and a hearing ability above and below ours. But, they're very close to what we are. So I would certainly think that these creatures probably even go far beyond that. Yeah, maybe multiple vocal cords, but our vocal cords aren't the only things we use to make sound. So we use our teeth, we use our tongue, we use different parts of our throat. we vibrate during different singing and things. We vibrate our chest cavity, we vibrate our larynx. So who knows? I mean, World Bigfoot Radio, I mean, maybe there is people that actually know it anatomically to that degree. You know, I take it all with a grain of salt. I've heard just about everything there is in the world, so. Okay, well, going through the chats, and I think that's pretty well got it wrapped up. So you guys, I appreciate you coming this evening and hanging out with us for the, what was it, the fourth try of this live stream. What I need everyone to do, though, for me, as I do these things to provide you guys not content but information and just truth straight up, whatever that is, right? No conjecture. I would like you guys to do something for me, and that is to help me break this noose that we have on many platforms that stops our information from getting out. So you'll see that we can generate 1,000 hits in the first day we put something up, or 1,000 views, whatever, and the next day and from then on it'll just basically go to zero. So we'll have just no more, because YouTube will absolutely prevent anybody from finding or seeing the content. We gain about 5 subscribers, or for every 5 we gain, we lose about 3 to 4. They're not unsubscribing. People write us all the time and say, hey man, I can't get it. I keep subscribing to you. I check back 2 days later, I'm not unsubscribed anymore. So if you guys can do that, make sure your subscriptions stick. Make sure you're going to get notified by hitting the bell icon or whatever. But more importantly, just start dumping this stuff everywhere. And I'm not doing that so we can gain views. It's the purpose to me doing what I'm doing. I'm not a content generator. I'm not a YouTuber. So the purpose is to get information into the public realm so that people can make their own decisions, because without clear and clean information, they can't do that. So what I've noticed is people have a hard time providing unbiased, just research results. Here you go. Here's what it is. And then, of course, you'll have to gain my experience through the years of doing this when I start to determine something. I don't make wild guesses. If I say, oh, that's a this or that's a this, it's because of dozens, if not hundreds of repeated results, and with, you know, being highly discriminatory against one thing to the next. What could that possibly be? What is that? So nothing is conjecture. There's no arbitrary words coming out of my mouth here. And so I want to get this information to the people. It's why we're doing all this effort. It's been a lifelong procedure of busting out truth that people don't like to hear. And unfortunately, that comes with a lot of interference. And I mean, we get it hard. I mean, they shut us down. You just can't believe, over the years or over the time, I'll be dumping this during live episodes. We'll cover some of the interference that we receive. But so if you guys can just do whatever you can to share it, I don't care if you talk about it or whatever, but get people primed and prepped and get them over here. So when we start to dump this, you're going to see we've only got 2,800 something subscribers, where, you know, you see homesteader people putting up, you know, Bigfoot, basically comedy, if you really want to get down to it. And, you know, they got hundreds of thousands of views. They got thousands and thousands of subscribers. And, you know, what's that really benefiting anybody? You know, information is key. And to show the world that not everything has been found, not even close. And that we better look a little deeper besides just listening to the powers that be that say, oh, it does exist or it doesn't exist. So do me a favor and let's bump this stuff and slide it around. Also, we got a Patreon page if anybody does want to help out. It's on the channel page there on the banner on the right hand side. You can click on that. And we also got the PayPal, but we have a website, www.criderexploration.com. It's been built and constructed. It's been quite a deal to do that, and it's just beginning to start to put material in it. And we've already just barely even scratched the surface, and we already maxed it out. So we're gonna have to try to extend that. And but we've got some merchandise available and some equipment we sell. And so I encourage you to go poke around and take a look. Okay, well, thanks you guys. I appreciate everybody being here. Now let me catch the last bit of the chat here. I'll get everybody addressed. Thanks, Nicolette. Since 2011. Awesome. Well, then back then we were flying all over the place, and they've done everything they can to just about bury us completely. Thanks, World Bigfoot Radio. Man, I really like Steve Isdahal. I like that guy. I can tell where he's coming from. He's completely honest from his point of view, but I can also tell that a few people have his earlobes and are whispering things that they're surmising and supposition. And he's got a great instinct, but I can tell he's kind of being taken this way and that way a little bit. I'd love to chat with that guy and let him know what the hell's going on. We'll see. That'll probably happen. Yeah, he does have a huge following. And I mean, Steve Isdahal has 50 million views a month. So if he had the information that we have, what a conduit to the people. But since that it's still, he's genuine. He still doesn't have the glue that fits the pieces together, so to speak. Then he doesn't represent too much of a danger, although he has been talking about losing subscribers, and he knows they're deleting them. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, they could make him disappear tomorrow and not even take his channel down if they chose. So a lot of interference like what we get. So the closer you get to putting the pieces together is what scares them. It's not showing people the pieces. It's the closer you get to putting those pieces together. Because then once you give people the glue, they can start to glue their own pieces together. And well, you don't want that, because then the conjecture goes out the window. So that's why every single show has the informed skeptic. He's not an informed skeptic. He's to reassert your doubts. But yeah, I would like to actually talk to Steve. I want to talk to the guy. Wow, Nicolette, thanks. That's awesome. You sent that stuff in. Well, good. Because we'd love to be the ones for the truth agency to go pop out everything from ancient history and cryptid biology and all this other stuff. Yeah, I agree. And I should say, Judy, yeah, I think we would make a pretty good team. My whole family are all hunters and outfitters, and so they've been eaten by bear and everything else. I mean, and so that's where my background came from. I'm not a hunter. I don't really want to kill anything. If I had to eat it, it was me or it, maybe. Yeah, that's cool. And I used to hunt, but I have total respect for hunters of all types and hang out with them and everything. And you guys know that's been around. I'm a tracker for sure, and I've spent as much time as probably any of them in the outdoors and in the remote and the rough. But at the same time, I'm not walking around hunting game, so I don't have to take that persona. I can treat everything a little different. So, but yeah, Steve and I we would make a good team. We're both pretty real people from what I can tell. When we gonna do live again? I have no idea. I do it pretty randomly. Maybe we'll start doing a schedule at some point or another. But life's up and down all over the place at the moment. So super busy, super tired. Doesn't matter. I'll still do them. If you guys enjoy this stuff, like I said, sure the word get bumped up. So when we do these live streams, it goes directly to the people. Just no holds barred. That's what we're looking for. So it's hard to hide it when it's popping out. Other than shutting the streams off like this is the fourth try. Okay, so we're going to wrap this. Thanks, Nicolette. Thanks, everybody. Shane Gabbard. Let's see, what do you say? You need to hit the woods with Steve. And I see him take you into some areas. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? He could do his outfitter guide thing and do that. Or he would absolutely be welcome with me, since I know he's someone that has the experience and the wherewithal. Although he doesn't like to chase them. He doesn't even like to look for them, and he really doesn't want to have another experience, per se. I think he's super interested and intrigued, but, man, most normal people, once you've had experiences, you really don't want them. I try to avoid the family units when I go. I don't go looking for the Bigfoot. I just want to go see what they're doing, where they've been, how they act, what they dig with, how they crawl, where they go. You know, I want to be blown away by them so I can see how they blow me away. But I try not to get into the group. I mean, it's not like it's the coolest experience in the world, and getting a pictures, you know, they're good. They just stay out of view, so you can get 40, 50 feet, 30 feet, whatever. They're almost always going to be where they're on the other side of something or whatever. And then on those rare chances where you do get in with them, like I've done with the big male, it's really not all that fun. You might get a fleeting glimpse like the video I got of him, and but you know, it's not really something that I'd ever really go, I don't think, look to do. Although we do have some things on the agenda eventually, like the lodge and the kill zone and stuff like that's going to be scary regardless, and we're still going to go do it. So, but yeah, Big Headed Martian, peace. Okay, we're going to call it, you guys. I know we could go on all day. I'm super happy you guys all showed up. I appreciate it. Like I said, get this out there, start showing people so they're going to be available when we start rolling all this out. I've got mountains and mountains of stuff to pop off. So thanks again. I appreciate it. Peace, everybody. It's been an awesome night. Excellent. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.